Bienvenidos. Today we're going to talk about the use of the no fault or accidental se in Spanish. But first I'd like to talk about another concept that you may already be familiar with that's somewhat similar to the no fault or the accidental se. If you're familiar with the verb gustar in Spanish, you know that in Spanish we can't actively like things, but we use the verb gustar to talk about how things please us. So with the use of the verb gustar, the objects are actually doing the action and it's happening to us. And in Spanish, when we use the no fault or accidental se, it's a similar concept. Instead of me forgetting my keys, the keys actually get forgotten and it happens to me. And in Spanish, when we use the no fault or accidental se, we're using the pronoun se and we're implying that an action was unintentional. It was nobody's fault. And we use the third person form of the verb, either the singular or plural form of the verb with the no fault or accidental se. Now, in Spanish, understand that even though it really might be my fault that I did forget my keys, we are not going to say that in Spanish. In Spanish, it's very rare when somebody admits it's their fault. It really is the keys got forgotten and it happened to me. So here's the first example. Se me olvidaron mis llaves. Okay? The keys were forgotten and it happened to me. Now let's look at the parts of this sentence. We have the keys, mis llaves, my keys. They're plural, and so we're using the third person plural form of the verb. Olvidaron. Olvidaron mis llaves. It happened to me, and it wasn't my fault. So we have three parts. We have mis llaves were forgotten, it happened to me, and it wasn't my fault. Se me olvidaron mis llaves. Let's look at another example. Se les dañó la mesa en la cafetería. Here we have mesa, table, being damaged in the cafeteria. Mesa is singular, so we're using the third person singular of dañar, dañó, and it happened to them, les, and it wasn't their fault. Even though the students might have damaged the table, in Spanish we're not saying it's their fault. We're saying the table was damaged and it happened to the students. So we have our parts. We have verb, who it happened to, wasn't their fault. Se le quedó la tarjeta de crédito en la casa. So we have tarjeta de crédito, the credit card, was left at home or at the house. In English we would say he left his credit card at home. But in Spanish we're going to say the credit card was left at home and it happened to him. So we have the credit card was left and it happened to him. And it wasn't his fault. Se le cayeron los libros. The books fell and it happened to her. Libros is plural. So we have plural cayeron. It happened to her. And it wasn't her fault. Se le cayeron los libros. Se te perdió el lápiz. Did you lose your pencil? In English we would say, did you lose your pencil? It would be your fault. You lost it, right? In Spanish, no. It's, did your pencil get lost? Se te perdió el lápiz. We have the verb, who it happened to, and it wasn't their fault.